board. And Nicole, they're totally going to miss your introduction on the video, but I'm going to let you take it from here. Let me unmute you. All right, it's all yours.
All right, so like Jessica said, I was totally not into it. I was all for the challenge group. I loved it. But when it came to her asking me to coach, I mean, I was full of questions, like most people are. You know, what am I going to have to pay? Am I obligated to sell something? So I just really wasn't in. And finally, she said, "Look, you don't have to do anything. If you do something, great, but you don't have to do anything." So I finally said, "Okay, you know, fine, whatever. Sign me up. I'm drinking the Shakeology anyway, whatever." So I signed up. Things started going really well because people were asking me questions. But I was still just kind of a hobby person. Like, when it worked out for me, great. I hit Success Club most months. There were a few months that I was at 4. I even went through a time like in August or September or October. I mean, there were a few months there where I was at 0 because I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't working the business. I wasn't doing my PD. I wasn't inviting. I wasn't doing anything. So it was basically just a hobby for me. I did it when I could. And when I couldn't, you know, whatever, I didn't do it. I just paid for my Shaco that month because I didn't have anyone paying it for me. And then recently, you know, I changed jobs this year. I started teaching preschool at a private school, which I loved, but it was a lot harder for me to take off. So when my kids got sick, it was the point where, you know, I felt like I needed to be with them, but I also felt bad that, you know, I was leaving work and they were having to kind of cover my spot. And, you know, I was kind of torn, and you probably saw me post that. If you've been a coach for a little while, you probably saw my post on United Spark about how I shouldn't feel that way. I shouldn't have to choose between my kids and my job. So that was kind of a turning point for me, like where I really thought, you know, all these other people are doing this. There's no reason that I can't do this. So that's where I kind of shifted my mindset. I started really getting into PD and started really doing the 3 vital behaviors. So I'm going to share my screen with you really quickly because I've got a little PowerPoint to go through with some points. And are you able to see? Jessica, can you see? Give me a thumbs up if you can see.
We can all see.
Okay. All right. I was just making sure before I start going. Okay. So one of the first things, let me go back to this. One of the first things, like I said before, you know, I didn't decide back in October of 2014 that I wanted to go all in. I kind of decided that just recently. So one of the main things when you become a coach is that you don't have to go all in immediately. Yes, it's great if you do, but you really need to search deep and find your why. Why do you want to do it? Because until you find that why, it's not going to stick for you. So, I mean, you can make your decision anytime. It may be right away. It may be 18 months down the road. But you've got to do it when your why is really strong. So you've got to dig down deep, and that comes from PD. Find your why. Why do you want to do this? The other thing is, when you really go in, you've got to be proactive. You can't just be reactive. Don't wait for people to come to you. People are going to come to you at the beginning, but they're not going to keep coming to you. So you're going to have to kind of reach out to them. So, you know, you've got to do those 3 vital behaviors. You've got to invite. You've got to work out, drink your shake every day. You've got to do your PD. That's very important. And the other thing that kind of stuck out to me is, you know, all these other people are doing it. What if I actually did what they told me to do? What if I actually listened to what they told me to do on the National Wake Up Call? What if I actually did the things we talk about on Team Call? I would be just as successful as anyone else. So I'm going to go through 5 steps with you. And these are 5 steps that you can shift your mindset. The first step is prioritizing your time. And I think this is a huge one. This was a huge one for me because it's so easy for us to say, I don't have time. There's no more time in my day. I do baseball, I do dance, I work. There's no more time in my day. Well, there is. And your attitude for that is just do my no matter what's daily. Have a list of your no matter what's. And before you go to bed, check that off. Are my no matter what's done? So your action is to identify your 5 business tasks. What do you need to do? First of all, you need to make sure you're inviting. And that doesn't just mean posting on your Facebook page. Personally invite. Make connections with people, at least 3 to 5 genuine connections every day. Be proof the products work. And that doesn't mean just doing them. That means occasionally post a workout picture, post a Shakeology picture, share why you think it's great. Why are you making it a priority? Why is this important to you? Don't just post a Shaco picture and say, oh, yep, here's my Shaco. I drank it today. Why did you drink it? Why would anybody else want to drink it? What's important about it? And PD, this was one that I let go for a long time because I just thought, again, I don't have time. I mean, who has time to sit and read a book or whatever? But you've got to fill up your own cup first. And that's one thing that's definitely really important. And it could be a devotion. It could be Darren Daily. It could be Darren Daily plus a book that you're reading. Darren Daily is something that I get a text every single morning. It's short, sweet, to the point. I can listen to the video. It hardly takes any time at all. I can do it on my way to work or on my way home. But definitely, pair it up with a PD book or a devotion or something. You've got to be working on yourself. And then social media. This was another one that was hard for me. At first, I didn't want to be one of those people that posted all the time. But you kind of have to let fear go and just do it. And you want 2 to 3 quality posts. Don't just post some random share or something that's not going to mean anything. Make sure it's adding value to people. Make sure it's something that's engaging, something people actually are interested in. And then hit Success Club every month. And that's not something I was doing. I mean, there were plenty of times that I didn't do it, but it needs to be non-negotiable. It needs to be a no matter what. And post your free stuff. We get free stuff for hitting Success Club. That excites people. I mean, everybody likes free stuff. So when you get free stuff, post a picture of it. Let people get excited about the free stuff that you're getting. And the other thing is your story. My story is different from Jody's story, is different from Jessica's story, is different from Kelsey's story. We all have a different story. And nobody can argue with our story because it's ours. So, I mean, definitely share your story, whatever it is, with everybody, because that's, they can't argue with your transformation. Be present to team calls. If we have a team call, national wake up call, even if you can't be there, I can't be on the national wake up call because I'm at work right now, but I make sure that I listen to the recording. There's a recording always. So, and the other one is track your business and review your goals. That was another one that I kind of let go. I thought, well, I don't really have time to track anything. What's the point of me writing this stuff down? But you forget. So it's very important that you track who you're talking to, what you're talking about, because a lot of times I'll have people say, this month is not really a good month for me, but check with me at the end of next month, because I think at the end of next month I'll be able to do it. Well, if I don't write that down, I'm going to forget, and then I'm not going to check with them. And then maybe another coach asks them when they're ready, and there they sign up with them. So make sure that you track your business and you review your goals all the time. So that's step number 1. Make sure you prioritize your time. And no matter what, don't forget that your job is to help people achieve their goals. That's what we're here for. We want them to become healthy. We want them to have a fulfilling life, and everybody matters. So that's our number 1 goal. Our goal is not just Success Club. Our goal is not just go on the cruise trips. Our goal is not just to go to Summit. Our main goal is to help people. And if we're working toward that, we're going to hit all those other things that we want in our business. And step number 2 is duplication multiplies. And your attitude here, if it can be taught, then it can be duplicated. Whatever can be taught can be done again. And we have tons and tons and tons of resources in our United Spark files. So this is not, if you're a new coach, you do not have to recreate the wheel. You do not have to recreate your own challenge group guide. You don't have to create your new invite scripts, your getting started right calls. You don't have to recreate any of that because we have it for you. If you can't find it, ask. But you know, this is not difficult, but sometimes it takes time for us to go and look for it or to ask where to find it. But you know, this team has been going for quite a while, and Jessica's done a great job of making sure that we have the tools that we need. So our main goal is that we just need to use them. And I think a lot of people, I know me included, with the invite scripts, I didn't use them. I thought, I can do this on my own. I don't need to copy and paste something. I can tell people about this because I'm passionate about it. But the problem is that we get overwhelmed and we overwhelm others because we have so much to say. And especially when inviting coaches, you know, that very last question where you say, well, I can enroll you as a customer or I can enroll you as a coach. You know, if you don't say that correctly, it scares people away. You don't want to say, hey, I can sign you up as a coach and you can get a discount. Then people are thinking, okay, this kind of sounds like a scam. And people don't want to do it. So you have to present it in the right way. And if you'll present it in the way that it's presented in the invite scripts, I hardly ever have anybody turn down a discount. But you've got to ask it in the right way. So if you're a new coach and you don't know about those tools, make sure that you ask your upline. And the third step is showing up consistently. I mean, you're the CEO of your business, basically. So, you know, yes, we have Carl Daikeler, but you're it. For your team, you are it. So you have to think and act like you are the Carl Daikeler of your business, which means you have to do that PD. Super Saturdays are important. I haven't been to one yet, only because ours have been more like Super Sundays. But I do plan on going to Super Saturday, the next one that comes up, and also attending Summit. And I'm signed up for that, and I hope you guys are too. I'm super excited about it. Again, the team call, the wake-up call. We've talked about that already. The getting started right call. Basically, own your role as sponsor. You are their person. You need to give them their tools, you know, just like everybody else. If we didn't give our challengers the tools, they wouldn't be successful. And we need to do the same thing with our coaches. Another one that I think about showing up consistently is your workouts. And that's something that sometimes I forget. Like, I get busy with my coaches and challengers. I'm like, oh my goodness, did I even work out today? Like, I'm making sure that all these other people did what they were supposed to do, but don't forget for yourself to show up. And one thing that I heard the other day when I was getting ready for this call is that a girl said, you know, nobody wants to get out of bed, their warm and cozy bed at 5 a.m. or 4:15 a.m. In the morning. But what she said was, if you'll get up and do your workout and you do it for 5 minutes and you still want to go back to bed, then go back to bed. But, you know, most people, once you get started, you're in. And that's something that, you know, takes discipline. It's not something that's going to happen right away. But the more disciplined you get and the more you show up, that will definitely happen. Because your team is expecting that from you. Your challengers are expecting that from you. You are expecting it from them, so therefore they want to see you doing it as well. And then release the expectation that your business will happen naturally and create your own opportunities. Nothing happens naturally. Everything requires work. And with this business, it's definitely work that I enjoy. So when it's work you enjoy, it's a little easier. But again, it's not going to happen naturally. I have to put forth an effort in this business. I have to invite. I have to do my PD. I have to exercise. I have to drink my Shaco. I have to do the work, and I have to pour my heart and soul into this business. But when it's something you're passionate about, it's much easier to do that. And the next thing, step number 4, is creating opportunities to connect. your attitude here is that you just have to be intentional. Everybody has something to offer. We all have different things to offer. What I have to offer is different from anybody else on the team, and same for you guys. You have to lead your conversations with belief. Share your story. You know, your story is enough. You don't have to share someone else's story. Run your business opportunity calls, do a coach open house, do sneak peeks, run free groups that they can join. You always need to have something that you can invite people to, whether it be a challenge group, a free group. You always need to be in recruiting mode, whether it be recruiting mode for challengers or coaches. You just need to constantly be in that mode. And another thing is calendar. If you are a coach, you need to make sure that you're sharing your calendar. What's upcoming for you? Do you have free groups planned? When are you planning on advertising for your next challenge group? When are you planning on advertising for your free group? Share that with your team so that they know when to start advertising for these groups. And teach what you do. You know, if you're a coach and you have people under you, you need to teach them what you know, because if you don't teach them, they're eventually going to fall off. You know, I've had someone tell me recently, well, I quit because I just feel like.
Nicole?
Okay. Yeah.
Your screen is green for some reason. Is yours showing up? It's like a green blob. There we go.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I don't know why I was doing that. But I had someone tell me recently, you know, I stopped coaching because I just didn't feel like I knew what to do. I didn't feel like I had the training that I needed to have. So, you know, we just need to make sure that we're teaching what we do and that we're sharing that, because if we're doing it, but we're not teaching anyone else underneath us how to do it, then, I mean, it basically means nothing, because we're nothing without our team. So we have to make sure that we share what we know with our team. And then the last thing, step number 5, is to exceed expectations. We all have ranks. We talked about that. We get recognition. Beachbody is great about recognizing us for our ranks and for the leadership ladder. But basically, it's not about the title. It's about how we serve others. So when we're in our challenge groups or when we're in our coaching groups, we need to deliver on our promises. So if we promise something's going to happen, then we need to make sure it happens. If we say our free group is going to start May 1st, but only one person signed up, we don't say, oh, well, I'm sorry, only one of you signed up, so we're just going to wait and do it later. Because basically you're saying, well, you're not that important, so, you know, I don't need to start with just one person. So, you know, do what you would do for a tribe for just one person, and deliver on your promises. And then have a strong work ethic. And I think most people on this team have that. And most of us have jobs or have had jobs where we've worked hard. And like I said earlier, when you have passion for something, it's definitely easier to step in and show that strong work ethic. I've probably put more hours into Beachbody than I have any other job I've ever had, more recently than earlier. But I mean, it's because I'm passionate about it, and I think it's important. And we have to have that work ethic, and we have to make sure that our challengers have all the tools that we need, because basically if they're not successful, we're not successful. So it's something that we just have to do. We have to have that attitude that, oh, I'm Emerald, but I still have to keep going, or I'm 5-star Diamond, but I still have to keep going. We can't just get to Diamond and say, oh, well, okay, I'm here. This is where I wanted to be. Let me just give up now, and I don't have to worry about anybody else anymore, because that's not how it was. I was Diamond, and I kind of let it go and drop back down to Emerald. So, you know, you can lose your rank at any time. It's not about the title. It's definitely about how you serve others, how you help others, and how hard you work on doing that and delivering on your promises. And basically, this whole thing is that discipline trumps talent. It's all about being able to do things for others and help others. And if you're not they're helping others, then you're not significant. You've got to build that success with other people. And that's basically all I had. Unless anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer them.
That was awesome, awesome, awesome. Anybody have any questions? Do you want to close out your screen share, Nicole?
Yes, I will.
There's everybody's pretty face. Anybody have any questions? So, great job, amazing job. And I was sitting here writing down notes. And I hope that when you are on these calls or National Makeup Call, that you're writing stuff down. If you're sitting there, and I've been guilty of this, if you're sitting there on Facebook or on your phone or whatever, when these calls are going in, listen, we can't multitask. We can't. So you're not taking it in. You know, I listen to National Wake Up Calls when I'm working out. When I hear a good point, like I listened to Chelsea Pearson's call today, I stopped my workout and I started writing notes. So I hope you're taking notes, and especially those of you that are at the event, Super Saturday Summit, you're going to have a whole book of notes. So amazing call. And there was just a few takeaways I got from that. And the first thing is you have to believe in the possibilities of this business. If you do not, you will not succeed. Point blank. You have to believe that it is possible to be successful as a Beachbody coach. Stop what you're doing until you believe that it's possible. Every coach that is meeting their goals and making their dreams come true started exactly where you are. So, I'm just saying. So you have to believe that you can be successful. If you're so you need to stop trying to take in all this training and figure out what volume is and figure out emerald rank, and stop doing that and just get personal development. You need to read Compound Effects. You need to read Slight Edge. I don't care if you quit coaching for 2 months. Just be a discount coach if you're just going to dive into personal development, because you're just wasting your time if you do not believe it's possible. And I think Nicole and Jody and everybody else will tell you that's a very natural thing in the beginning, is that you're just like, yeah, I mean, I guess you could, but not really. But you can. You just have to believe it. And then after you believe it, you need to promise yourself one thing. No matter how much you stink, no matter how much you drop the ball, no matter what, that you're going to be here 1 year from now. So once you believe it's possible, allow yourself some time and grace to say, listen, I know this is not fun sometimes, but I'm going to be here in 1 year. And if I'm not making any money and if I have not progressed in 1 year, then I give myself the ability to quit. Kind of like she said with the workout. If you're working out for 5 minutes and you still want to go to bed, well, go to bed. You know, give yourself a year. And just be consistent. The saddest thing I see in this business, and it just like breaks my heart for certain people, because they have so much potential. Like, they're out the gate, they're flying. We've had new coaches get 16, 20, 25 Success Club points in 1 month, right? They're in that hot market. Month 2 comes around, it's 20, 15 Success Club points. Month 3 rolls around, it's down to 10, 8 Success Club points. And by about month 7 or 8, it gets hard. They have to start putting in the work and they quit. So maybe your out the door wasn't that, crazy, but that does happen. But maybe you got 5 or 10 Success Club points, and then month 2 you're like at 2, and then month 3 was 0, and then it was 0. That's like, well, I'm not gonna be successful, so I'm gonna quit. Don't be that person. You have to work at it. And like she said, that this business doesn't come naturally. It's not like, oh, she knew how to be a coach. You learn how to be a coach. You learn how to be a leader. And you do that by staying consistent, believing it's possible, and sticking around. I like to equate it like you open a new business. Do you know anybody that's ever in their life started a brand new business, and in that first year to 2 years said, owning your own business is really easy? Everyone should do it. No one says it's easy. If that was the case, everybody would own their own business. You have to be an entrepreneur. You have to want something more than your current life is already getting you. So, and you've got to take ownership of your business. It is not your coach's job to train you. That is available, and we're more than willing to do that, but you have to go out and get the answers and take ownership. Say, I've started my own online health and fitness company. This is my company. The fact that you have so much help is amazing, right? Because people that start new businesses don't have people to go to and be like, I need you to train me. It doesn't work that way. And you pay $16 a month to own your own business. It is the cheapest startup ever, 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 ever. So just want to hit on that really quick. And like she said, you have to know your why, and you have to get down to the mission. Your pay is a direct reflection. We've talked about that a million times. When you help enough people, your pay is just going to come naturally. But if you can answer, when you go to quit, because I've had thoughts of quitting myself numerous times. I think everybody that's been here longer than a year has said, I've thought about quitting a few times. If you can ask yourself at that point when you're like, I want to give up, how many people did I help this month? How many people did I help this week? And if you can't answer that, then maybe it's, it's not for, I've said it before, it's not for everybody, but it is for anybody. And I think if you believe in your dreams and your goals, and that why is so strong, it really makes you almost want to cry. I mean, Nicole is a perfect example. When she thinks about having to pick her kids over work and not being able to take off and feeling so strongly about that, that's when that mind shift happened for her. So you've got to find that thing, whatever that thing is in your life that's not associated with money. Because if this is a money thing, it's not going to work. You have to get down to like, what is that goal going to make you feel like, right? What's that goal going to feel like when you don't have to pick up your work over your kids anymore? Or what's that going to feel like when you can take your family on a vacation, or your boyfriend in Brittany's case? Or what's that going to feel like when you don't have to rush your kids out of the door at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning because you're built a business from home? It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. It is not easy. So you're just going to have to get some tough skin. I hate to say that. And it's going to hurt sometimes. And I'm up usually, and I'm a strange case. I'm usually up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And a lot of times I'm up again at 5. But my why is really, really strong. And I want so much for you ladies, and your whys give me an even stronger why. So all I can say is you got to believe it's possible, and you got to work at it. And that's not waiting on someone to kind of tap you on the butt and push you along. You have to decide what your goals are, and then you have to back into that. Your coach is here for you. I'm here for you to tell you how to do that. And I'll get nerdy on you, and we'll back into numbers if that's what you want to do. But you have to hit Success Club every single month, like without fail, like non-negotiable. Success Club 5 every single month. So, and then once you get those people in that challenge group, you keep helping them. You make sure they're getting results. You're not there to be their best friend. You're there to be their cheerleader. And when they're not sending you stats, you're not helping them because you don't know how they're doing. Ask them, what's going on with you? I hadn't heard from you for a couple days. Are you doing all right? Right? And that's what they need. They don't need you to be nice to them right then. They don't need you to say, oh, that's okay. You haven't been working out. You haven't been drinking Shakeology. You're not checking the group. You're not doing them any favors. They are paying you to help them get results. Do that for them. You're doing them a disservice by not doing that. And I'm rambling, but Nicole, great call. And I do want to open it up. I'm going to take anybody off mute that you want to be off mute. But if you have anything you want to hammer home about that, but I want you to know that there is, you all on this call have so much potential. I've been watching you closely. And if I don't comment on your stuff, it's not because I'm not wanting to or looking at what you're doing. I think you're fantastic. I think what our team is doing is insane. And you girls just keep rocking and rolling. Keep that why. If you haven't written that down, please write that down and just believe it's possible. Don't let it take 15, 18 months for you to say, I should have, could have, would have. We're telling you what we've done wrong. Learn from the people that failed first. You know what I mean? Like, we're here to tell you this is everything we did wrong. Don't do that. Don't wait until you're flat on your face and you've you could have been, should have been, whatever, making, more money to help support your family. Or you could have been home already with your kids. I don't know what your goal is, but get with your coach and let's make it possible. Thank you so much for showing up on this call. I really do love each and every one of you. And I'm going to let Jody kind of close it out for us just in case she has anything she wants to touch on.
Yeah, I actually do have a few things. I was taking notes as Nicole was talking as well. I think it was actually the first or second thing she mentioned was time. And for me, the biggest thing, all the top coaches say create business hours. And like Jessica said, we're kind of sharing our failures with you guys. Me and Sunshine were texting today, and she's like, thanks for being the best coach ever. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I feel like I kind of owe you guys for being my guinea pigs, because it's just now kind of clicking with me. And I feel like, dang, I totally did not help my coaches in the beginning. But that's because Jessica and I didn't have anyone really showing us how to do it. But a lot of the top coaches say business hours, and that always stressed me out, because I thought, okay, if you do 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night, you get back on Facebook, and when I get on Facebook and I have 75 notifications, I spaz out. Okay, so business hours aren't, like, I don't have set business hours, but I do have set family hours. So I just think it's very important, because this is something that you're super passionate about, and it's so easy to become consumed with. So set family hours. Make sure you set that time aside in the afternoons or in the morning or whatever, whenever it is for your family, that you are not on Beachbody at that time. Your husbands are going to get annoyed. Your kids are going to get annoyed. So one of my biggest learning moments from Beachbody has been to set family hours. Nicole said, don't reinvent the wheel. Coming from our teacher backgrounds, beg, borrow, and steal. But what I have learned about that, make it your own. I've tried for 20 months now, trying to be the Brittany Leggett and be the Lindsay Stay. Like, I'm not Lindsay Stay, I'm not Brittany Leggett, but I am just as capable of them, as them. So I'm finding what they're doing, and I'm stealing their ideas, but I'm making them my own. So, you don't have to spend all this time recreating it all. Go out and steal it, and then make it your own. Make you the person that people want to come to. Be here in a year. I cannot tell you how many times I repeat that statement to myself since I've started. When I left Summit last year, when I got home, literally like the day I flew in, I booked my ticket for Summit the next year, because I was pregnant, and I just knew I had already wanted to quit 1,000 times anyway. And I just knew I was going to have 1,000 more reasons to quit. So I felt like if I went ahead and booked that ticket, it was like my surefire way to be here in a year. And now I don't even know how that year has already flown by, but it's here again. And I'm super excited to go. I booked my Success Club trip for April 2017. And the first thing that popped through my head was be here in a year. Like, I'm going to Punta Cana because I'm going to be here. So find things that you're willing to work towards, and it all goes back to your why. Keep that fresh in your mind, but promise yourself to be here in a year. When me and Shelly were talking the other day, I told her, because she's, doing so great in the beginning. And like Jessica said, so many of our new coaches come in so hot, and then when their fresh market runs out, they die out. And I made her promise, like, you can't quit when it's not easy anymore. Corey and David, they have huge goals of, having their own gyms, and it's just so important for you to promise yourself to be here in a year. Like she said, if you're broken hating it in a year, then by all means, sayonara. And there was something Jessica mentioned about this business isn't natural. And I agree with that, but I disagree to an extent. I think that you are a natural coach if you're leading from your heart. And that's kind of where I've gotten to here lately. I don't need to try to be Lindsay Stay, even though I'm super obsessed with her, because I'm not Lindsay Stay. But if you go into this business and you truly lead from your heart, yeah, you can figure out the volume and how to, duplicate and all that kind of thing later. But just right from the start, lead from the heart, and people are going to want to join you because you're genuine. So let all the businessy stuff come later. Business was not my thing. That's why I was a teacher. I'm not trying to do finance and numbers, and that was Jessica. But I do have a big heart, and I know that I can capture people that way. So just lead with your heart. People are going to want to follow you for that reason. I think that's all I had to say. I'm super excited to see all these faces on here. Makes me happy. Does anybody have any questions? Silence.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, crazy things happening in our team. Great takeaways. I hope that every time you leave one of these calls, you know that Thursday is from 8:30 to 9:15. You are investing in your business. You're investing in your team. You're creating that sense of community that United Spark is, and the amazing culture that we're creating in our team, which is just to take that one little thing, whatever that thing is in your life that got you to this point, and just remember what that thing was. And for me, it was constant accountability, and it was a support of like-minded women. It was that little plant of seed that made me get to this point today. So whatever it is that got you here, remember why you're here and what got you here, and remember your mission and your goal, and just keep busting it day after day. It's just like your workouts. It's just like your nutrition. If you bomb a day, don't let it bomb a week or a month. Pick yourself back up the next day and go with it, right? You're not just going to chalk up an entire month anymore of horrible eating because you had one bad day. Own it, realize it, give yourself some grace and time, and just let's keep moving forward, and reach out if you need help. That is what our group is for, okay? So I love you all so much. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll see everybody back here next Thursday. Bye.